In 1958, a young man sat in an interview room in Dehradun, vying for a job as an Indian Air Force fighter pilot. Out of 25 candidates, there were exactly 8 open slots. He placed 9th. The rejected candidate was APJ Abdul Kalam. Following that failure, he shifted his focus to aerospace engineering, eventually spearheading India's ballistic missile program, launching its first satellite, and serving as the nation's president. Throughout these high-stakes roles, Kalam approached his personal setbacks with the same methodology used to troubleshoot a failing engine. He broke his rejections down into component parts, analyzing the failure points to prepare for the next attempt. This was Kalam's life operating system. Every obstacle was treated as a hypothesis to be tested. When the test failed, he gathered the data, adjusted the variables, and iterated. This mindset was forged early on. Born into a poor family in Rameshwaram, Kalam sold newspapers at age 10 to help his parents. Despite facing discrimination that often relegated him to the last bench of his classroom, he secured a place in the aerospace engineering program at MIT Madras. His first true test of the iteration loop came when a professor rejected his design for a low-level attack aircraft model. The professor gave Kalam a choice: redesign the entire model from scratch in just 3 days or lose his vital academic scholarship. Kalam went 72 hours without sleep, refining the aerodynamics and structural integrity of the model. When the deadline arrived, he presented a design that was technically flawless. The ordeal showed that impossible constraints don't just create stress. They generate the exact pressure required to force single-minded devotion and technical breakthroughs. He scaled this philosophy as he entered India's nascent space program. In the 1960s, the national goal was to reach orbit, but the team possessed almost no modern infrastructure or specialized facilities to build a rocket. To create a workspace, Kalam and his colleagues took over a local church in the village of Thumba. They converted the prayer hall into a laboratory, using the bishop's house as their administrative hub. Without specialized transport vehicles, the team moved sensitive rocket components to the launch pad by strapping them to bullock carts and balancing hardware on the frames of bicycles. Despite these rudimentary logistics, the team achieved their objective. In the year 1963, India successfully launched its first rocket into space. The success at Thumba confirmed a broader principle: resourcefulness, rather than pre-existing wealth, is the primary driver of national innovation. In 1979, the stakes reached a peak. As project director for the SLV-3 satellite launch vehicle, Kalam was responsible for a decade of grueling work and significant national investment. The launch ended in disaster. A second-stage technical failure caused the rocket to veer off course and plunge into the Bay of Bengal. Following the crash, Kalam's superior, Chairman Satish Dhawan, faced the press. He did not point to engineering errors or individual mistakes. Instead, he took full personal responsibility for the mission's failure. 1 year later, having analyzed every data point from the crash, Kalam and his team successfully launched the SLV-3 again, successfully placing the Rohini-1 satellite into orbit. This understanding of high-pressure leadership scaled to his management of the Pokhran-2 project. He successfully coordinated subterranean nuclear tests while evading international surveillance and outmaneuvering geopolitical rivals. Through these expansive programs, Kalam realized that a leader must act as a shield, absorbing the team's public failures while distributing the credit for its successes. After 41 years in defense and space research, Kalam retired. Shortly after, he received a call from Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee, who asked him to serve as the President of India. He moved into the presidential palace in 2002, using his term to advocate for Vision 2020, a plan to elevate the country through technological and educational independence. The man who oversaw nuclear warheads and commanded an army of over 1 million people remained defined by extreme humility and a desire to teach. Kalam applied his final years to a different kind of engineering, the development of the next generation's minds. Until his death in 2015, he spent his time at lecterns and whiteboards, sharing his methods with students across the country. His life served as a demonstration that failure is merely a required data point on the path to an objective. As he often told his students, To shine like the sun, you must first be willing to endure the burn.